I painted this mug. I'm normally a coffee drinker, no cream, no sugar, but lavender tea is good for calming, and my doctor recommended it, and it's great when you start having too many thoughts in your head and you get a little panicky. It calms you down, and it's delicious because lavender is amazing. I read 4 books in September and October. The first book that I read was Beautiful Creatures by Cami Garcia, and I actually picked this off my cousin's bookshelf when I was in Sweden. We had a lot of just relaxation days, so I picked it off her shelf and I couldn't put it down. So when I got back home, because I hadn't finished it, I got about halfway through. When I got back home, I went to the library and picked it up there. I love libraries. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy that I have a library card. It was just like magical. I've forgotten how magical libraries are. Beautiful Creatures, I remember when it came out, and I remember there being a movie, and I remember a lot of people comparing it to Twilight in a kind of negative way, and I did try and watch the film after I finished reading the book, and I couldn't get through it. It was so bad. Oh my gosh. And also it veered away from a lot of like the things about the book that I liked. The book was actually really good. I really liked it. It kept me interested. It kept me turning pages, and it is not at all like Twilight at all. Like other than it being a paranormal romance, or at least that's the section it was in the library, I don't see the comparison at all. There's a lot of things about the book that made me cringe, but it wasn't about the writing or the story. It was about the setting, and I think the setting would make anyone cringe unless they grew up there and really didn't know anything else. But it was pretty interesting. I love fantasy novels that include magic. I'm all about the magic, so seeing a different sort of take on like magic and good and evil was really fun. I know there's a lot more books in the series. I'm not sure if I'm going to read any more of it. I kind of want to because I'm curious what happens, but there's so many books out there that I might wait and see. Next up is Order of the Omega by Kristin Martin. She has a great YouTube channel. I'll link it below. She actually sent me this after I reviewed the first book in the series, The Alpha Drive. Thank you so much for sending me this. I apologize that it's taken me this long to read it. This book is really cool. It wraps up a lot of things from the first book, and it's very action-packed, and it makes me wonder what's going to happen in the third book, because it comes to an end. Things really come to an end, so I'm curious. Then I read #Girlboss by Sophia Amorso, and she is the CEO of Nasty Gal, the clothing company, and it's basically a memoir. I picked it up because I thought it would be more like a guide of female entrepreneurs, and there are some tips and tricks, but it's about her story, and it was okay. I'm not a fashion person, so a lot of that was kind of lost on me. On hiring, staying employed, and firing, this is my least favorite chapter. It was my least favorite chapter for a variety of reasons. One being she quoted Donald Trump, and 2, she said you always have to wear a bra to a job interview, and I just don't think that that's true. I think it's up to your own personal judgment as to whether or not you have to wear a bra at any given time. It's personal choice. I'll probably give this book away or sell it, because I don't know. And the fourth book is actually a comic. It's actually more like a poem. This is a reread. I got this the first time I went to Comic-Con in 2005. Yeah, 2005. And I don't read comics that much. At least I don't read like superhero comics. And at that time, I didn't read really any comics other than Sailor Moon manga. And that's mostly still true. There's a few comics I read, but yeah. So I picked this up because this seemed right up my alley. Roman Dirge is the creator of this. He's the same guy that did Lenore, Adventures of a Creepy Little Dead Girl. So think back to like the late 90s, early 2000s Hot Topic before it was, you know, like a pop culture kind of Tumblr-y place. Back then it was a lot creepier, but still cute cartoons. You know, Lenore, Emily the Strange, Foamy the Squirrel, you know, Invader Zim, Nightmare Before Christmas. All of the cute pop culture things had a creepy vibe. And I don't know, I was definitely not a goth back then, but I did have goth tendencies and interests, so reading this was very much a trip down memory lane as far as, you know, my old interests. Booktube fills me with happiness, because reading fills me with happiness. This tea is nice. Thanks for watching this video. If you'd like to support me, I have a Patreon where you can become a monthly supporter, or you can just share this video, because that would be nice. Go forth and read, my hobbits. Ow!